Hi guys, today I just wanted to go over a few things that, hopefully could be friendly reminders for you guys as far as staying positive within, the ups and downs, especially with the turmoil that we're facing in today's, I guess, society, if you will. A lot of things that, for me personally, when I look at, where we're headed or the chaos that's ensuing and people losing jobs and people having to stay home and all the stuff that's going on around us, is this is a chance for people. A lot of people are looking at the woe is me, like, oh my God, I have nothing. And they're sitting home and they're not taking action. We all have access to the internet, or most of us have access to the internet, I should say. We have phones. We have the ability to, educate ourselves on a multitude of different things at any given time in this world. And I think, right now especially, I mean, if you find yourself home and you're playing games or you're scrolling through aimlessly on social media, regardless of the platform that it is, it's, at that point in time, it's, you could be doing something else. You could be taking that time to educate yourself, and maybe within that education, seeking alternative avenues to bring in revenue for yourself and your family. A small education. I always, in my last few videos, I've talked about, trading and things of that nature. And that's another thing as well. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. I didn't go to school for finances, none of that. But a lot of what I've learned was through books that I've ordered on Amazon and through, honestly, following other people on YouTube and learning and seeing how they dissect stocks and how they go about different things. So that for me, myself, there's always an alternative avenue that I could look to for, in times of hardship or times of maybe, it's, if things change within the markets or whatever, it's not self-relying on one source of income. There's a multitude of other avenues for that. And I think, like, especially now more than ever, if you're relying on a stimulus package or a bailout or essentially the $1,200, whatever is being promised to us at this time, if that's what you're relying on, I don't think, $1,200, it could seem like a lot in some cases. And it can very well, get you by for just a little bit longer. But if that's where the point that you're at right now, I strongly suggest that you don't rely on other people to handle you or take care of you. Because who knows when those checks will come. Within the time that it could take to hit, I mean, a lot can happen. But if you take the time now and utilize it effectively, instead of taking hours and hours towards games or social media or whatever other things that you find yourself wasting, or just standing there aimlessly thinking, this is the moment to take action. And if you have a thought, if you thought of things that, if we go to like Elon as an example, he's someone that he wanted a safer avenue for money. And then he creates PayPal, and the exchange of money was a little bit safer. Anything that he saw that he was like, oh, I'd like this, or I'd like to do that, he invested his time and energy to create that. So we can be a creator ourselves, and we could sit there and if we can look around our house, and if there's something that bothers you, like, hey, I wonder if I can make this faster, or make this, or make that. You have the resources in front of you to at least educate yourself, or maybe touch base. If you're going to be on social media, maybe dropping someone that is in that field that you're interested in, something in their inbox. Maybe, just maybe, they'll respond to you with something that could maybe point you in the right direction. And if that's not the case, then we look towards, like I said, you have YouTube. It's an endless supply of information. And constantly people are putting out information out there for others to hopefully help them. And that's essentially, my position now, or when I make these videos and I'm sitting here in front of the camera, it's just my sole intent and purpose is to hopefully encourage others who maybe are less fortunate or haven't had that type of education to pursue other avenues and actually get encouraged and see that someone else that, was in your shoes, is out there, trying to make a difference. And you could be that person too. You know what I mean? There's tons of content out there. It's, be aware and be aware of what you're consuming. If it's, the latest on the Kardashians or something else of that nature, is it really imperative for you to know that information, or is it just a waste of time? And I'm not saying that, don't have downtime and don't have that moment where you're just like, whatever, I don't care. It's something that interests me. Okay, that's cool. But at the same time, they're not concerned with you. And I really believe wholeheartedly, like, if you could take those moments and push them and actually work on yourselves, and we collectively do that, the ability to recover from something that we're in right now and the ability to grow from here could be exponential. And it could lead to changes throughout the world. We're sitting here with even something as simple as YouTube, where you're talking into the camera. This is an opportunity for anyone to have essentially a voice to some degree, and maintain an audience and hopefully connect with some people. It's not for everyone, and you're not out there to try to say, oh, I gotta be, the perfect person and politically correct and all these other things to try to garner the most attention possible. Ultimately, my personal goal, in doing these videos is just to be that person. I was the person on the other side of the lens looking for answers, hoping. And within the media that was available on a source like YouTube, I found myself, very, very much fortunate to have stumbled upon and asked the right questions. And I think that's also another imperative feature here. We often find ourselves behind the 8 ball and we're like, oh man, how am I going to get by? How am I going to get by? I'll never make it. And you start to say that negative self-talk. Like, that type of attitude you're asking yourself the wrong questions. You know what I mean? Push comes to shove, gun to head. You make a decision. Now, what are you going to do? And if you approach every day like that, like, this is you're behind the 8 ball and you need to make a decision, and you have to be the reason for the change. Like, that could also be a powerful tool. Some people might crumble within that pressure that they put on themselves, and they might need another avenue or another way or outlook to look at things. But if you could focus on yourself in some shape, way, or form, that's going to be encouraging or motivating, whether it's putting yourself behind that 8 ball, like, I got to do something today, and that motivates you enough to take action, versus like, well, I wonder when someone's going to save me. It's someone else's fault, and blaming all the blame and pushing off all the blame and saying, your situation isn't your fault. When I believe wholeheartely, like, your situation or wherever you find yourself to some degree, whether it's 90-10, you're responsible for your actions that led you to that position. And now you're responsible. It's no one else's responsibility to go there and save you. It's up to you to make that decision. So I hope that, within any of the content that I put out, or any of these times that I'm sitting here talking in front of the camera, that these moments can be inspiring to other individuals and maybe motivate you enough to get off the couch and make a difference. So I would just like to reiterate, like, utilize this time. Don't let the time use you. You use the time. So if you have 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, who knows, a month, 2 months, we don't know how far this will last or how long it will be implemented. But while we're here, don't wait to be rescued. Be the rescuer. Rescue yourself. Take responsibility. And then ultimately take action. I think that will be the biggest difference maker. And, like I said in previous videos in the past too as well, that line that my father had said to me, 6 months is going to come whether you do something today or you don't. So regardless of your economic or financial situation, do something today, because in 6 months, you'll be glad you did. And if you didn't, 6 months from now, you may find yourself in the same predicament or even worse, waiting on others to be the ones to come and put their hand out or throw you a life vest. Utilize this time. Don't let the time use you. And I hope that helps, guys. Please stay positive. Like and subscribe. It means a lot to, keep this channel going and growing. And again, like, I'm here for questions. If you guys need inspiration, if you guys need that any type of help, leave a comment, inbox me on Instagram, whatever the case may be. For people that follow me on Facebook as well, you can hit me there. I'm here to help others. So I hope that helps, and enjoy the day. Be positive.